Hi, and welcome back to the Yes You May podcast, where we talk all things confidence, finding the ways to give yourself permission and leading a life that isn't holding you back, but chasing you forward. A life of your dreams and finding the confidence to do so. I'm Amanda Mae Gray, your host, and it's been a while. It's been a long while since I put out an episode. Why? Well, I've been going through some stuff myself, and I did not feel that inspiration. I didn't feel that motivation, and I was kind of stuck. But it's a new year. It's 2025. And being that it's five, instead of one word this year, I've come up with the five P's of 2025. And that's what I want to talk with you about today. Not all five. We're not going to get into all five of the P's because I feel like that would go way too long. But we'll see where this goes nonetheless. Most people pick a word, right? Well, when I was when I was in the shower earlier, I thought about five words. And by five, I mean at first I had three, and then I was like, but it's 25, so you need more than that. And one of these things has been really on my mind a lot lately, and something I'm not good at. And so let's talk about it. My five P's: peaceful, productive, profitable, persistent, and playful. Now, some of those might sound a little more obvious than others. Peaceful. Who doesn't want to be peaceful? To enjoy life, to have a sense of calm, to not be super stressed out all the time. I think that's super important and something we often forget. So, peaceful is definitely something that I'm going to be striving for and reminding myself of and taking moments for. See, the thing about peaceful, it's not about a continuation, it's not about always being at peace. It's about making sure each day you take a moment to find that, to reset, to get grounded. Maybe for you, that's meditation. Maybe that's working out. Maybe that's a prayer. Maybe that's just some quiet time with a book at the end of the day or at the beginning. I tend to work out, meditate, and at the end of the day, I'm really trying to incorporate a few minutes without my phone, without distractions, just internally to myself, finding peace. And I'm also gonna start a gratitude jar. I don't know if you've seen these. They're fantastic. They're these little, and at the end of each week, you put one thing you are grateful for in it on a piece of paper. At the end of the year, you dump it out and you look at all the benefits. And I think that's a really good way to cultivate a peaceful, productive, happy environment. So, can you find some more peace in your year in 2025? Productive. Let's talk about productive. All right. I have a negative P word that I am super good at and super not proud of it. It would be procrastination. I procrastinate a lot. I might have talked about this before, probably. Odds are good. I have ADHD. And with ADHD, if it's not in my sight, it's out of mind. If it's not exciting, I find other things to do to keep myself entertained rather than do the boring stuff. And in general, things get worked up in my head to be bigger than they really are. Have you ever done that? Have you ever like worked something up in your head so much that you just don't want to start? And when you finally are forced to, well, it wasn't that bad, right? Like we make things out in our own minds to be more than they tend to be. And often it's really just that first step, right? Like the first step of anything is always always the hardest. I mean, admittedly, I procrastinated making this episode for a while. Why? I'm nervous. I haven't done it in a while. Shake off the cobwebs. I didn't know if I was ready. I didn't know if I had something to talk about. And so I procrastinated. And that's not something that I'm proud of. So this year, I really, really want to work on the procrastination to become more productive. One thing I did a couple years ago now, a couple summers ago, I came up with this thing I called Project 33. They say it takes 21 days to make a habit, and sometimes they say 30, and I like numbers. I like repeating numbers. I think anything that pushes you just a little bit beyond what they say is supposed to be is always a good thing, right? So I did 33 because 3 and 3 is cool. I don't know. That's what I did. And so I made a list of 33 things that I was putting off. Now, it didn't start with all 33. It was kind of a running list of things, right? But things like I needed to install a shower head that had a wand so it would be easier to wash the dog in the bath. That seemed like a really big project. What else did I have to do? Oh, I had to hang a TV. Like, there was a lot of things that were around the house projects. There was some other things, like administrative wise, like going through my finances and this and that, or organizing the sock drawer, right? But I just made this list of things that on my to-do list, my never-ending to-do list that never gets to done. Do you have a to-do list that never gets to done? Now, granted, there will always be something new that pops up on this list, but are you checking those things off? I'm not I'm not great at it. I have great intentions a lot. But what my plan was and what I did is for 33 days, I would do one thing on that list. Whatever it was. I had to pick one thing. It didn't matter if it was almost midnight. I had to pick one thing on that list that I had to do and cross off. And the shocking part, most of the things took like no time at all. At all. And we're not that hard. We're shockingly simple and very fulfilling because I'd worked it up in my head to be such a big deal. Let me tell you what, if you need to change a shower head in your shower or your bath, that's actually super simple. Make sure you have the tape to do so. If you don't have the tape, it's not going to turn out well. But nonetheless, I had put that off and it literally took me like 5 minutes to do. It was so easy. I did it in my in-laws' house. I then did it in our shower. Like, it was so easy. And it took such little time, and I had put it off for far beyond the return period of said showerhead. Like, have you ever done that? You're like, "I'm gonna get this done," and then you buy it, and then well, if it doesn't work out, too bad, because you own it now, baby. You own it now. So I wanna be more productive, is the moral of the story. But the Project 33 helped me work through that to become more productive and to become a doer, not a dreamer. It's great to dream, but if you never take actions towards those dreams, if you never actually do the work, nothing is going to come to fruition. Nothing. This podcast of mine is not going to grow sitting on the shelf and me never making content. Guess what? It did not grow. Well, I did not produce. Funny how that works, right? You have to take the actions to go with the ideas. You have to be productive. Next word, profitable. Okay, so I lied. I guess we are going to talk about all five. Not the point. Profitable, man. I have a tendency, don't be coming at me and with things. Don't feed this monkey. To say yes to things for free, right? I do a lot of stuff and then I get myself burnt out on free work, which is well intentioned. But then I get myself caught up in doing free work. So then what am I not doing? You're right. The paid work. Meh. You have got to also be profitable to be sustainable to a certain degree, right? I don't need to be Taylor Swift millionaire, billionaire. What is she now? Ridiculous? Exactly. Although it'd be nice. But at times I think I wouldn't like all that publicity and paparazzi. I digress. If you really want to make an impact in the world, money is involved, and money is the way that you can make that impact. So I have to maintain a profitability. I gotta say yes to things that will continue to move that needle towards the profitability. Absolutely. As do you. I mean, you can't just declare something and then get paid for it per se, right? Like you gotta work up to it. You gotta get the experience. You gotta have the chops to do it, right? But profitable is definitely something that is on my horizon. And understanding what my time is worth, which is hard, man. It is so hard to know what your time is worth, right? So hard to value yourself and put a dollar on it. You're like, is this too much? Is this too little? I don't know. But you got to be profitable and value yourself. The fourth word is persistent. Persistent. This is the most important one of all of them. So I'm going to dive in this a little bit deeper. I'm not persistent. And I realized my dog is so persistent. Like that little guy will not stop until he gets the food. He is the most food driven, fits right in with my family dog that I've ever had. He has no interest in coming and playing with you if there's somebody in the kitchen making food. Mm-mm. Nope. If you ever babysit him, he will be in the kitchen helping you clean up if you drop something. That little guy will sit in the kitchen and make noise until you put the food away because he can still smell it. So he's like, there's food, honey. We got to get it. He's so persistent. And it occurred to me I'm not, right? I get any pushback or don't get a response to something, and I just let it go. But then I don't get what I'm trying for, right? I don't achieve what I'm trying to achieve. And that's actually more difficult, more painful. I also realized I had this Christmas party and I asked people one time. I didn't reiterate the invitation. I didn't ask again. I just kind of put it out there like if you want to come, it'd be great. But you have to remind people. People forget, they see it once, they might be in the middle of something and then it's gone. I should have reached back out. And the thing is that happens in business too. With my own businesses, with my speaking business, with my video production business, I don't always feel the confidence to be persistent. But at the same time, I realize that I expect people to ask me something more than once. I expect them to remind me. I'm not probably forget, right? We were supposed to, my husband and I, go to a Pilates class, try an intro class, but due to the weather, everybody shut down. The state shut down. Welcome to Georgia. Get a little weather, we shut down, which is fine. I understand it. We won't get into that conversation. I know why. We don't. It happens. This is literally the second time it's happened in a little over 8 years that I've been here, but and I figured, well, if they really want us as a client, they'll call confirm with us. What is that? What is that? If you really want me, you'll come back to me. So I have that attitude on one side, but on the other side, I don't bother to follow up and be persistent and remind people. Just because you reached out once doesn't mean they were at the time they could or they missed it in their email. I mean, I get a million emails. I don't know about you, but I get a million emails between 4 email accounts that come in on my phone. I mean, come on, ridiculous. Of course I miss things. I'm just human. Guess what? Everybody else is human too. And those people really aren't that scary. They're also just humans. And if they are that scary and they are that mean, you probably don't want to work with them anyways. Just saying. You know, but I need to be more persistent. I need to pursue what I want more. I need to be my own biggest advocate. And so do you. You can't ask somebody once and expect every time they're going to say yes. I mean, how many times have you heard a message or a saying and it didn't resonate until, like, the 23rd time, you know? You have to keep at it. This also kinda started because of the gym. I go to the gym a lot, but I would not say I'm a consistent person, and there was not a consistency there. I wasn't persistent, right? And if I made it a couple times a week, great. There was no set goal. I wasn't going as much as I could, should. Mm. And they had this consistency takes reps challenge for the month of December, and you were expected to go 4 times to the gym out of the 6-day gym week. Sunday's our rest day. Hello, Burn. Good to see you. And I was like, I'm taking on this challenge and I'm doing it. During the holidays is a notorious time to let yourself go, eat too much, and I did eat too much. I definitely had way too much dairy and way too much sugar. But through this consistency takes rep challenge, it forced me every week for the month of December, the hardest of months, to make myself and the gym a priority at least 4 times. I'm not good at that with anything. And when I finished it, I had created this new expectation for myself. And now, even though it's not that much far out, right? It's like that's the standard. The standard is that consistency, that persistence, that pushing towards the goal. That is what is required. 4 times a week. That's what's expected of me. That's what I expect of myself. What do you expect of yourself? What are your goals? What are your milestones? Have you taken the time to look at them and decide on them and make it a priority for yourself? Because if you're not making yourself a priority, nobody else is going to. If you are not advocating for yourself, nobody else is going to. We get to wake up every single day. And to my knowledge, we're the only thing on this planet that has this option and get to choose every day. You get to choose what your day's going to be like to a certain degree. You get to choose how you start it. You get to choose if you're happy. You get to choose if you're going to let things get to you. You get to choose to change. My dog doesn't get to choose to change. A tree doesn't get to choose to change. It just changes. We, humans, we're the only things that get to choose to change. And you have absolutely every ability to do so. But are you going to be persistent to move yourself forward to be a better person, to be a better version of you, to live a more fulfilling life, to live a more purposeful life? Ooh, another P word. Bonus P word, purposeful. Actually, I think that was supposed to be one of these words, and I don't remember which one. Purposeful. All right. All the P words today. That's all that matters. You got to be purposeful in your life. You got to feel like you're doing something valuable for yourself and for others. That's really how you make it. That's really how you become profitable, right? It's providing value for others. But you have to be persistent in that pursuit. Side note, I have no idea why P. I don't know. I don't know why that's the thing, but that's the thing, and we're running with it for 2025. Damn it. The Unfiltered Amanda Mae Show is back again. Which brings me to playful. When was the last time you were playful? In case you couldn't tell, I enjoy to be playful. I enjoy to have fun. I enjoy to be a variety. I enjoy to change things up, to have a good time, to make a joke, have a laugh. When was the last time you were playful? When was the last time you were intentional about making it a playful life? If you have younger kids, there's probably some in there. If you have a dog or a cat, maybe not a cat. Sometimes a cat, depends on the cat. But if you have a dog, they want to play. They want to bring joy into the life. They want to bring joy into your world. Are you making play a priority as well? I got one of those big ass calendars. Now, if you're not familiar with this, shout out to Jesse Itzler. I can say that correctly. He made this big ass calendar. What it is, it's a huge 4 by 3 foot, which is not this much space. It's much bigger than that. If you're listening, you would see my arms are not that wide on screen, but it's this big calendar and it shows literally the entire year. And you're supposed to put on it your goals, your vacations, your marathons, your whatever it is that you want to do, whatever it is that's meaningful to you. It's not your here's a Zoom meeting on this day. No, that's not it. It's to build an epic year. And to have an epic year, you got to plan for it. You got to prioritize it. You got to be persistent in it. And so I got this huge calendar from Jesse, literally called the Big Ass Calendar. And I just decided for probably the first time to really look at my year as a whole and to plan it out. And man, if you've never done that, if you've never gone month by month at the beginning of the year, wrote down all the things, I also printed off little papers so I'd write in all the minutia on those. So anything that's coming up, I know everybody's birthday. I have date nights planned out already in there. Um, and it's also something to look forward to. So I'm going to put up on my wall. Actually, got to figure out the best way to do that. So that every time I walk in this room, whether I like it or not, it's glaring me in the face saying, what are you doing to move towards these goals? What are you doing to be productive, profitable, persistent, peaceful, and playful? Right? To make that a priority. Time with friends, a priority. Time with your other half, a priority. You got to plan for it. Right? Hopefully it'll work. I'll let you know. I'll keep you posted. But I'm sure they're still available for sale, and I'm sure he loves the shout out. Thanks, Jesse. Appreciate you. And I wanted it last year, but I held myself back from buying it because it just didn't feel like I needed to waste the money on it. And guess what? I probably didn't have as epic of a year as I could have had I just thought about it in advance and planned it out and made that a priority. 2025. We're here. It's time for you to start to be more confident in your life, to make the decisions for yourself, to give yourself permission to live the life that you want, to not worry about what other people think. I was talking to my stepdaughter the other day, last night, about how we all think everybody's looking at us, right? We all think this tiny little mark here or that little like we all think that we're constantly under a microscope and everybody's noticing all the flaws and all the things, and the reality is that every single person is living in that exact word inside their head as well. So guess what? They're not thinking about you the way you think they are, because they're thinking about them the way you're thinking about you. Does that make sense? You got to live for you. You got to choose to change. You gotta give yourself permission. Nobody else is coming here to do it, and if you think somebody else needs to, great. Listen to me, and I will give you that permission. I am here to help you have the permission to live the best life you possibly can, to go after what you want, and to be a strong individual that is happy and is living a life without regrets. I wanted to pursue so many things for so long, but I never had the guts, the confidence, the reassurance to do so until just started to decide I don't care what other people think. I'm going to try it anyways. So here's my first episode back after a long time gone. And If this just helps one person, really, that's all that matters. But I am going to be persistent and I'm going to continue to put this out because I think it matters. I think it helps. It might only help me, but guess what? Maybe that's okay. But if it helps you, please let me know. Pass it on. Let me know what word you're running into 2025 with. Let me know which of the 5 Ps, apparently 6, you are resonating with, which idea you're going to run with in the comments, wherever you might be listening to this or watching. I love you. I have confidence in you. You're going to do amazing things this year. You are so worth it. And if this helps you just a little bit, and you could think of somebody that it might help them as well, please share. Because maybe that one little word, that one little gesture is really all they need to see that they are worth it. They are valuable. They are enough. Because we all are. We all deserve that. We all deserve to believe it. This has been the Yes You May podcast with your host, Amanda Mae Gray. That's me. I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful 2025. And I look forward to bringing you more amazing guests and some more amazing Amanda wisdom while we're at it. Have a beautiful day. We'll see you next time.